Okay. There's only this. There's only this. And this is very simple and ordinary what is happening. It can't be not this. I can say this, that. I'm saying this because normally what's going on in the story, there are always two, like yes and no, like before and after, like good and bad. And saying this, it's trying to say it's only one. You can also say that. So there's an opposite, seems like that. But there's this. It means it's everything. There's nothing excluded. And there's also saying there's no one. There's no one here. There's no one inside. There's no inside. Everything is empty. And in the same time, it's full, like an appearance of things. Everything is an appearance of lamp and table and bodies. So when they're saying there's no one, there's also saying everything is an appearance. Nothing is real, nothing is solid. When there's I am here and I'm living in the story, everything seems solid and real. And there seems to be I am living my life and I have to deal with everything what's happening to me. Seems like circumstances, what other people are doing, or there can be an emotion that's your emotion. There can be thoughts. It seems like it's your thoughts. Nothing is yours. There's no one. So there are no relations. And that's crazy because everything seems to be related because there's a feeling, there can be a feeling of I'm here and everything is happening to me or to my body. And when they're saying is no one, there are no relations. It's not only no relations with people because there's no one in somebody, another body. There's also no one, or in a child, there's also no one. Your mother, even, there's also no one. But it's also in circumstances. And what we normally used to do is when there's a feeling it's not that nice, or it feels not nice, then it's related to something that is happening to you. Maybe there's somebody saying something to you. Maybe it's about your husband or your wife. It's not really doing what she should be doing, what you think, or not doing what you really need. There can be an emotion, and it seems related to what's happening, maybe related to something that happened in the past. And then there seems to be a lot of things going on about thinking about it, and the anger seems to be related to that. There can be circumstances, any circumstances, no money. So there's a feeling, oh, there's no money, and there's a feeling, and it seems to be related to having no money. So there's a going or being busy with trying to earn more money or to trying to do something about it. When there's someone and there's a relation to everything what's going on, other people and circumstances and the body, there's always being busy trying to change anything. Because when there's someone, there's subtly or maybe stronger a feeling there's something gone wrong. This is not it. There's something wrong. I'm not good enough, maybe. It's not satisfying. There's something missing. I need to fix it. And that need to fix it is normally seen in the story, because when there's me, there's only living in the story, and trying to fix seems to be the only solution, or the only way seems to be trying to deal with what's going on in the story, with your husband, with circumstances, with the boss, with everything. And then there's this message or this talking and saying, no, it has nothing to do with the story. The story is only an idea, a fantasy about a dream about what's going on, an interpretation about what's going on. Has nothing to do with what's going on. There can be anger, there can be an emotion, there can be the table. There's no center, and it's not happening to you. There is no one. It's empty. Everything is empty. That means that everything is empty. There's no one inside. There's never, but everything is also an appearance. So it's full. It's not saying there's nothing happening. There's nothing happening, and in the same time, there's everything apparently. So a flower, a lamp, a glass, a feeling, thoughts. But it's on its own. It's only that, a feeling, and it's very quick. And it's not me feeling that. It's not me thinking that. It's not me experiencing that. That's how it's going in the story. And then there's hearing this, like there's no one. So there's no experience. There's what's happening. And on top of that, there can be that whole construct of it's happening to me and what can I do about it? Oh, this is because of what you said, or this is, I need something else because I don't feel good and you didn't give me what I need, or things like that. The whole story is going on and there's always something missing. So it's very um, addicting. Me, it's a huge addiction to get what you want and then doing anything to get what you want, and blame someone, blame circumstances, being sad about what's going on. It's an endless going on and being busy with what's happening, but it's a dream. It's an interpretation of something that's just there in a like a cloud. It's there's only what's happening. It's not happening to you. That's the simplicity. It's there's no one, so it's not happening to you, and it's complete as it is. There can't be something right or wrong. There's nothing right and wrong. That's only in the story. There's because the brain can abstract, so that it seems like, oh, there's two, and this is right and this is wrong, and it should be like this, and like behaving should be in a certain way. There's no one doing that. It's happening by itself. It's apparently happening by itself. It's life. It's energetic. So there's no guilt. There's no responsibility. There's no one. It's new. It's new. So there's also no time. When there's the story of me, it's happening in time and space and distance. So there can be a development. When there's that brain can abstract, then suddenly there's going something, oh, this is behind that, this is before this, and this is happening because of what I did. And when there's a little child in the story, in the beginning, it's like there can be abstracting, and there's a lot of times there's not being busy with that. So there's what's going on. So there's being and meing in and out like that. And after a while, maybe there's a lot of me going on because it's confirmed all the time that you're there, you're doing something wrong, you should be like that, and this is behind, and there's time and all that. So that becomes very real, and that's embodied. So there's seems the story is very real and solid, and that's what's going on. And there's a, you could say, a forgetting about what was being. And in the same time, there can be a longing for that, because that being is, there's nothing wrong or right. There's only what's happening. And there can be an idea or a remembering, and maybe an idea about what was going on over there. But when there's trying to find that and trying to do something about what's going on, it's always in the story, because that's what we know. There's the story, and maybe, and there's me having a free will and choice. So maybe I can work on myself, I can change circumstances, I can do, it's really important what I want. All that is in the story, and it's an endless trying. And then some some people are like, oh my god, I did so many things and it didn't work in that way. And there's hearing this, like there's no one, there's already no one, it never has been someone. It's a misunderstanding, but it's so embodied and so real, becoming real, and Every It's so quick when there's something happening, and on top of that, it's immediately, "Ah, that was so awful. How could he say something, and why didn't I?" And all that. It's so quick, so it's so convincing, and it seems like there's a solution about trying to feel good again, because it's always about feeling not well and trying to feel good again. That seems to be the normal way. And here they're saying, no, it's not. There's no feeling good or awful. There's what is. Can be anything. But me is that feeling, that idea. There's something wrong with what's going on. And it can be very subtle and very convincing. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. It's already complete. There are no relations. There's no me. There's no relation with anything. Not even my thoughts, my feelings. It's a feeling can happen in space. The body isn't even real. It's an appearance. There's no life of Roes. There's life. There can be face happening. That's it. It's very simple and very literally what's happening. And we can talk about that. We can talk about anything. So when there's questions going on in the story, then there can be talking in the story, but there are no answers. This meeting is going nowhere. There's no plan or there's no development. There's also no meaning. Nothing has any meaning. So this is not important. It's not unimportant. It's what it is. Talking. So if there are questions or maybe you want to say something about this, you can unmute yourself, or maybe you want to write it, you type it, and we'll see how it's going. Oh, there's somebody saying, hello, thank you so much for the meeting. Life is about being. Oh, thank you. Mm. There's no need to talk about this. When there's nothing, there are no questions coming or whatever, then that's what's happening. There can't be something wrong. This is not about getting clear or doing enough. It's exactly what is happening, what's being done, how it's looking. It's that already. There's the sea sound. Oh, yeah. Mm. Life is going nowhere. It is. And we are thinking like, oh, this is my life, and there's a past and there's a future somewhere. I have to make my plans. I have to do something about that. I earn enough money, or my relation can be better again, or anything. There's no life of someone. There are no individuals. There's no one. There's only what's happening. Even the body, which seems so real, and I'm in it, and everything is happening to that or to that or me, whatever you say. The body isn't real either. They can be seeing that part of the body. Then that's what's being seen. And we can abstract that there will be legs underneath. Mm. Or there will be a life of Rose and she's like that, or maybe somebody else. I don't know. It's a fantasy. It's very strong. But it's a fantasy, an idea, an interpretation about what's going on. But it seems so real and so true. Sometimes, some studies say, sometimes there's an intense sound of a silver cord. A silver cord. Oh, yeah. It can be anything. It's a sound. It can be strong, can be subtle, it can be a feeling, it can be the table. Nothing is more important than anything else. And this is also not about you. So there's no development or continuation or that. It's what is. There can be a strong sound. Yeah. There's no one hearing a sound. There's sound. That's strange because we are so used to think like, I am hearing that, I'm feeling that. And then hearing this, like, no, there's no one feeling that. There's sound can happen, or a table, or a feeling somewhere in space.
Hello, Rose.
Hello.
So, I mean, the ear is needed to be able to hear sound. So deaf people, unless they have a cochlear implant, they never hear sound. So it's still, it's like from what we learn about the ear, and
Sure.
that is needed to receive the sound or whatever. It's a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So what you say then is like, even if there's sound, a deaf person, there is no sound.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
It's just,
but
yeah.
yeah, but it's so convincing when there's research that's done by someone, and there's really seeing everything as solid and real and proving that how that's working, about a lot of knowledge about that.
Yes, yes.
And this is completely out of the story. So when there's no one, it's suddenly like, oh, there's only sound. It's not heard by someone. It's that there's so many, it's so many knowledge about our and beliefs about how things are working, and then that's so embodied, so that's the normal way. It's because of I have my ears and they working, and that's why I hear sound and all that. And then it's crazy to hear, no, there's only sound or something else. It doesn't matter what it is, and it has nothing to do with the body, or nothing is
But
real. Nothing
I
is real.
I watch well, I watch videos of
Mm,
children who for the first time have
mm.
a cochlear implant, and then you can see their reaction when it's the first time they hear the sound. So to me, it's like it's still connected, to the body
Sure.
of what can be done. So
Yeah,
I
sure.
won't understand unless I,
No, this is, you
yeah.
can't understand. I can't explain
Mm.
how that's working. It's about loss. It's about loss, that belief that there's someone hearing, and that's so, when that suddenly isn't there, maybe for a moment or something, and then suddenly it's like, oh, it's sound. That's it. And that's, it's not about I'm hearing that. That's so that it's complete out of the story. This will, in that way, you will never understand, because in the understanding it's about explaining how it's working and convincing
Yes,
maybe,
yes.
or things like that. I can't convince you about something else.
Oh
No,
no,
I
I'm
don't
not.
need.
No,
No,
I'm
but
not
no,
trying to
I
be.
know.
It's just a
But
thought that comes up because I
yeah,
happen to
sure,
have been
sure.
watching these videos, so that's
Yeah,
all.
yeah, sure.
So,
And that's the very
yeah.
normal to think
Mm,
about that, how that's going. And then
yes, yeah,
hearing this is so completely out of the normal way. And that's the energetic part. It's not that, that's, it can be in the words, and then saying those questions. Of course you have those questions. And then that's hearing, oh, but it has nothing to do with the story. Nothing is real. The body isn't real. It's an appearance. So when everything is seen as real and solid, and there's a lot of information, then we're living, it's so embodied. So there's living in that belief or story, or how you call it, understanding. And then there's hearing this. It's so weird in a way. Like, how can that happen? It has to do with my ears, or ears at least. And then hearing, no, it's only, there can be sound, or there can be seeing. Yeah. And nothing is important. So it's not about seeing, or it's more important than hearing or anything. So it's what's happening. It's not happening to someone. There's no individual. What seems to be very normal, that there's someone inside and the body is real and everything is happening to that body, or it's, I'm hearing that, or there's a relation between me and what's going on. There are no relations. That's so crazy. It's so out of anything what you can think, and hearing something out of the story, because this is another possibility, has nothing to do with the story. And that's, and somewhere there can be a resonance or something, or maybe not, I don't know, that's different. It's about loss. There's nothing to hold on, nothing about, there's only not knowing.
yeah. I'm learning that it's not nothing to do with logic. What
No, it's
appears
not.
logic,
No.
So, but
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's nice.
yeah,
It's nice to hear this. The suggestion that about what you say. It's like it is different. It's and there's
yeah,
something uh, like a wonder about what you're saying. Anyway, thank you.
yeah, yeah. And it's so normal to have those questions, because that's what we do, live in the story, and everything is so embodied. You can't think your way out of it and saying, oh, everything is an appearance. No, when it's so strong that everything is real, then there are those questions, of course. Yeah. Oh, there are other chats. In French, there's a connection between counting and telling a story. Counting and telling a story. Re- recount. Oh God. Yeah. Hmm. A connection. Yeah. There's no connection, but it's so strong that there's the story, and that's the logic part of it. You're so into logic and trying to find out and explain. There's somebody else. If there's a feeling or believing a story, even a very sad story, one would like to change. That's what's happening, and nothing can be done. No, there's no one. So the story is also not happening to you. Nothing is happening to you. There's no one. And there can be sadness, but the story can be sad. And that the story is also the suffering, because it's making it into something, and with reason and why and how can we, uh, asking myself what can be done about it, and also because it's not wanting to feel sad, maybe wanting to feel good. There's always trying to change. That me is trying to fix it. And then there's here and here, no, there's nothing wrong with anything. That's strange, because we're so used to fix things and to develop into something that's nicer, more comfortable, more happy, and all that. And that this meeting has nothing to do with that. It's not about feeling happy or nice, or it's saying it's already complete as it is. It's going nowhere. It's what it is, but it's not happening to you. It's empty. There's can be seeing that body, but that's an appearance of body. Yeah, can be there, but there's no individual in that. Nothing is happening to that. That's how we see everything. It's related to something. There's someone in the waiting room, John. It's related. Everything seems to be related. We're so convinced that there's someone. There's no one. So the story is not happening to you. So that's not only nothing can be done, because that's assuming that there's someone that can't do anything. There's no one. There's already no one. And the story is an explanation, or an something that seems to happen about what's going on. It's a story. Really a story. There's nothing to do with what's going on. There can be a feeling. There can be sadness. Yeah. So then there's sadness. Can be there. Not my sadness. Sadness can be there for a while, and then something else. And life is not, there's no center. So there's no one inside. So it's not my sadness of I'm feeling so sad, and that's maybe because of that, or what can I do, and all that. It's very tempting and very, uh, that word is addicting, to make it into something else, because me is that feeling there's something wrong and I can fix it, or I should fix it, or there's nothing wrong. That's crazy to hear, that there's nothing wrong. This is not about right or wrong. It's what it is, really literally. And that whole story about looking, when there's looking at it, there seems always be two, like, oh, what's going on here, and making it into picking it up and doing something with it. The story is the suffering, can be the suffering. No me, no story, but me is the story, trying to fix, trying to deal with it, and all that. Life is very easy. When there's no me, there's what's happening, and it's going by itself. Life isn't interested in me or you. It's what's happening. There's no one. So it's energetic going. There can be wanting something, but if it's happening or not, life isn't interested. It's what's going on. It's energy. I see a lot of chats. And then somebody says, sometimes I want to know where the angriness is coming from. Yeah, that's the story. And then that's very sticky and very tempting to know where it's coming from, and because you don't want that being angry. It's not your feeling. It's taking it home, thinking, oh, what can I do about it to get rid of it? It's not yours. Being angry can be there, like that. And then after a while, something else, the table or something. It's not happening to you. It's not yours. Taking it home, and that's becoming a story about what's going on. It's a construct. It's a story or a fantasy about what's going on. An interpretation can be, maybe you're sure about that or not, or trying to deal with somebody else because it's because of her, because of him. He didn't give me what I need and all that. It's endless. It's endless addiction of something that seems to, it has to change. It has to be, I don't want this. I want to give it to somebody else. It's endless. There can be anger here. Yeah, of course. It's not mine. It's what's happening. It's only that feeling somewhere in space. It's not yours. It has nothing to do with you. No. It's not wrong, angry. It's a feeling, a sensation somewhere. It's not even in the body. It's sensation like that. And then it's changing and then something else, seeing the sun. I don't know. Hmm. And then there's somebody saying, the story gives people a sense of ownership. And this is where addiction happens. Yeah, it's mine. There's the feeling is mine. And then there's a story with that, like having to deal. It's not even questions that you have to deal with what's going on because it's right, because it's happening to me or you. And that's when that's so embodied and the belief is that strong. There's always dealing with what's going on. And then it's working out or it's not working out or it's disappointment or it's a lot of suffering about that. So there's coming into this meeting because you think, oh, it's about me. So maybe when there's no me, that will end. And trying and maybe having an idea about everything will go better when there's no me. It won't. It won't. This is not about that the story gets better or you feel better about what's going on. The freedom is that it's everything. There's no escape. There's also no problems because nothing is going on like I want or I don't want or all that. But it's full on as it is. So there's no escape of what's going on. There's no escape into, oh, what can I do about it and all that. That's not coming. So when there's a feeling that's full on, can be for a while. You don't know why or what it is. And then there's juice. And nothing is more important than anything else. Rose is not important. Somebody else is not. Nothing is important. That doesn't mean you say that to yourself because that's a new way or construct. And there can be stories, but they're empty. The story still goes on, but it's empty. It's not real. It's not so serious and all that. But it can be really like, oh, what's going on with your mom? And oh, that's awful. And saying that, yeah, of course. It's very normal in the, yeah. Wait, there was another one, I think. Oh no, that was it. And the addiction is that there's something wrong and it should be different. That's me, is that me is that. And that's so subtle, it can be so subtle or really convincing. Like there's still that me going on. No, there's still that me going on. And what can I do? I don't feel what you say and all that. It's so convincing and so clever in a way. It's what it is. There can be a lot of thought thinking, no, I don't have that. Then there's a thought, I don't have that. Yeah. It's a thought. Nothing in it doesn't have any meaning. And then there's belief like, oh, but it's really like can be believed in or not. Like, it's only thoughting. they don't have any power, but it seems really like, yeah, it's because of that. It's already complete. It's already complete as it is. This is paradise. This is complete. This is unconditional love. It's unconditional. It's not about personal love and I like you and all that. It's unconditional. So there's nothing right and wrong. There are no conditions. That's amazing. When there's the story, there are always conditions. You have to behave in it. Oh, you didn't behave in that way. Oh, you didn't do what I need. And it's always about this is right and this is wrong. And then they're hearing, no, there's nothing right. There's nothing wrong. That's somewhere the longing is for that unconditional. But there's also a fear because that means there's a loss of that whole identity. That whole identity, I'm here and this is my life and I'm doing well, it's going better now. It's completely out of the window. You're not important. Oh, you're not unimportant too, of course. That's what's happening. That's it. It's not happening to you. I'm not seeing someone. There's no talking to someone. It's talking like that. It's a sharing of how it's going, how it's seen. Mm. And that's another question. So the story has us or cages us in, limiting us. No, there's no us. So there can be a story. It doesn't matter. That story still goes on, but it's empty. It's a belief that the story is real and it's happening to me and I'm in this and I'm here and all that story. I shouldn't be so involved in that story. Maybe I can do something. Maybe I can do something more to relax and then I will not so be in the story. All that. There's so much investment in that. There's no one doing that. It's energetic. So there's a lot of thoughts going on and trying to deal with what's going on. There's no one. It's a construct, but it's so convincing. You can't do anything else. There's no one. So it's not getting out of the cage or you're not in a cage. There's no one. This is already complete. That it never has been in a cage or limiting. There's no limitation. There can be in the story feeling I'm limited and it's not free and all that. But the freedom is already here. There's only freedom. It's crazy. And it's very simple. It's so simple. It's very easy. It's going by itself. No one in it. Well, yeah. There's also no control. That's what makes it sometimes more frightening. That there's control. That then I can deal with things, or I can listen to myself, or I can do something. So there seems to be a little bit of control. So you still go on existing because that's threatened here, that you exist. No, I exist. I can control and I can do, and I can make myself more resting or anything. It's working for a while, and then suddenly there's something going on. This is not yet complete. This is not that's not all perfect. It's not that perfect. So I could go on, and there's something, oh no, that's not working. And oh, this is working very well. So I'm busy in a good way. And then suddenly, oh, but that doesn't feel good. And oh, still that's going on. It's endless. And then hearing there's no one. There's no control. There never has been control. It's not about you. Everything was about you, is about you. That's the threat. That's the killer. Yeah. It's only killing a dream. But a dream seems to be your life. Mm. Where is their appearance of life? It's not where, it's everything is an appearance. Nothing is real. When I'm here and I'm looking at the world or at the table, I'm looking at the table, and then it seems real, and there's the belief, and then feeling it seems like solid because there's that embodied belief, everything is solid and real. There's only a sensation somewhere. There are no borders. When they're seeing a border, like this is my face and this is the border of the face, it's seeing that. When you close your eyes, you don't know where the end is. So it's so convincing, the seeing and the beliefs about everything. There's nothing happening. And in the same time, there's not saying there's only nothing. There's also everything. They're seeing windows and streets and juice and there's feelings. And it's an appearance. Nothing is real or solid. It's not happening to anyone. It's empty. There's no one. When there's no time, it's not only no Wednesday or there's no before and there's no after. So no consequences. No cause and effect. Can't be. When there's no time, there's only this or that or this or that. There's, it's new. It's new. It's new. We're so into time and before and after. And then the whole story starts about that and relating. There's no time. There's also no distance. That's also crazy. It's not here and there. And then there can be thinking, oh, I don't see that. Those thoughts can happen. Yeah, that's also what's happening. There's nothing wrong or right with that. It's what's happening. Oh. Okay, there's a chat. Everything I ever did or ever happened in history or ever loved, they all never were, but still apparent here, just not believed in apparent human history, saying this way, this was or is threatening to people seems dangerous. Ah, yeah, of course. For me, it seems dangerous because it's not seeing that there's history, not seeing that there's a past, not seeing that there's a future also. There can be a memory of what happened. Maybe it's different, or I don't know. It can be, but that's what's happening here in this moment. I don't know. This. This is threatening. This is that can be called like dangerous, because it's not confirming that you exist and that there's a world. I don't see a world. Where's the world? It's it's a construct in the brain, in the mind, about there are other people and other countries outside. There's what's here. That's the room. That's everything. Where's the outside? There can be an image of that. It's only an image. But that's so believed, and that there's an outside and there are other countries and everything what's seen on television is really happening over there. There's a story about those countries and all that. It's a story. There's this, what's happening. That's crazy.
Can I ask something?
Of course.
Hello. Thanks for doing this. I have an apparent colleague, and we talk about this sometimes, but only because he's really open to but in his sort of interpretation, there's lots of stories still, and but he was in a position in that he nursed his wife for 25 years, and she was extremely ill, and there's a lot of anger and things like that. So in this Mies story, there's that going on as well. So there's nothing that I personally can say about. There's nothing it's seen, but it's apparent. There's nothing you can say that would say he would say, well, I was there and I'm still angry because it was so awful, and he went through that, and that's so very, very real, and you can't say that didn't happen. That's why the Mies would get angry or reaffirming themselves.
Yeah. Well, when that's very strong and it's so, that can be so embodied, that belief is so strong and so real, everything is so real, then it goes on. And then there can be, I don't know, that it's not better, or when that's not going on, or that there can be suddenly there's only that anger without any story. And then suddenly like, maybe there's in the story, and getting angry and remembering what's going on and still feeling that. And that it's that I'm here, and that's so embodied. So it's energetic how that's going on. But it doesn't mean that it's better not to have that or something like that. It's exactly what life is like. Then it's that with the story, yeah. Then there's a story, and there's really believed in that, and there's a past, and that was happening to me. And when that's happening, yeah, what can I say? It's that's what's happening. When I have a friend, I don't say like when people talk about their mother, and then I'm saying like, oh, but there is no mother. No, that's awful. It's like a new belief, and there's spreading it out like, oh, you should think like that too. No, there's
It's just
nothing.
a question there. There's a question
Yeah,
there that keeps coming and knocking at the door and saying, "There's," but it's so resonant for that apparent person, but it's just so refuted as well. And I don't talk about it, but you couldn't say those things. So
no,
you
you
couldn't.
don't need to. But the sharing is not in the saying, because that seems to be a new belief that I'm not talking like that too in with friends or all that. It's not, no, because that's a bit, that seems like
No,
a new thing or so. No, but it's shared in something else. It's shared underneath in the way the talking is happening. That's the sharing, not in the word, in that special words of there's no world or there's no past or all that. But there's something else. There's nothing wrong or right with what's going on. And it's about that. It's not about those beliefs that can be falling away or not. Well, it's
yeah.
it's about that unconditional love. You can't do that, but when that's lived, it's just stunning that there's nothing wrong with anything, and that's the sharing in the words or in the tone of the voice. I don't know, something like that. So the way it's spoken is already complete. It doesn't matter that you don't need to look for a way to speak about this or to him or whatever. The way it's being done is it. It's not about giving somebody a nice feeling or something. You can't give somebody. There's no, you can't give something. It's not, there's no one.
I
So,
don't.
but
I
it's
try
already.
not to say anything. Obviously, I try not to say anything because there's
Mm,
nothing to say. But it's really funny that it keeps sort of,
mm,
coming up that
mm,
it's just almost pushing, pushing. But yeah, we're just I think that it's funny that it keeps reaffirming that cause and effect keeps reaffirming itself in apparent things happening here.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all the
It's so
media does it.
embodied. It's so embodied. So it's not like when there's a clarity about this and about there's no cause and effect, or maybe there's an appearance of everything. But that's clarity is in a way it's superficial. This is about, it's energetic. So it's, how can you say it? It's lived like that. And now it's when there's an idea and you have suddenly it's something kind of behavior, and suddenly you see like, oh my God, what was that? Why do I do this? It's silly, all that. That when that's clear, that, but it has to embody like that, and then so after a while you live it, and it's not a question and or issue anymore. And that's the same with this. It's energetic, so there can be, I see people talking about this and it's very clear, but it's not only about, it's not about clarity, it's more than that. It's energetic.
There's
So there's
apparently
nothing.
been those
Yeah,
those
sorry.
energetic things where there was nobody like that knew who I was, or that there was real confusion, or like I woke up a few times I didn't know who or where I was, or
Mm.
other times there's been all strange things like that I can't even remember when, or I don't believe anyway. But when those things happen, then another thing happened, apparently, that was just a seeing of just, oh, well, so all that history didn't, that was just me saying that.
Ah, yeah.
Anyway, that was all like
Hmm.
apparently.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
since then, and then all the kind of COVID stuff with all the polarity and the kind of hate, it's been like just piling and piling on and piling on, and all the just stories of that, and I don't believe them. But it's just torn me away from a reality that I constructed, I suppose. But that seems to me just understanding intellectually that, oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that goes on. There can be a loss of those concepts and beliefs, and that's normally how it's going, that those beliefs are not that strong anymore, or seen through like, oh my God, it's not like that, or it's different and all that. Normally it's going like that. And then it's a loss. It's a loss of all those beliefs and the realness of me and the story and the world. And then that's suddenly that what hit my with me happened. It's like this in the story. It's like there was nothing going on, and then suddenly there was something. Oh, it's also everything, and that's not an idea, but it's suddenly, and then it's lived like that, and there's nothing going on about what's going on, or how is this, or all that. It's very clear. It's
That
very
happened
obvious.
once too. That seemed to have
Mm,
happened once too, but it was, in my story, it was like a result of some hypnotherapy, and it was like, oh, you're a musician, you go in and play and you get tense and feel this and get lots of pain, and but actually after her, that there wasn't a story. It was like that was gone, and there was just the doing and going and being, and that happened for a while, and yeah.
yeah.
So that was sort of not experienced. It was like catheterized something in my brain. I don't know. Cauterized is the word, not catheterized. Like just cut off. So yeah, all weird experiences like that. But I wouldn't say there's the everything. There is obviously the everything, but it feels like
Yeah.
more like nothing than everything to me.
Yeah. But that's how a lot of times it's going like that. It's more getting less and less and more nothing and nothing. Yeah, can be, and it can be also. I don't know. Depends. But some people are what I had also. But some people have that. That it's more like a loss of meaning of what's going on and all that.
But real things in life too, losses of jobs and losses of people and losses of all apparent, like you know, dire straits that not, you know, all happening at the same time as the loss. Anyway, I'm hogging your feed. I'm going to go now. Thank you.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Just go on if you want to say something.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Mm.
Hi, Rose.
Hey, hello.
Hi. Just sharing a similar kind of meaning and being kind of thing, but I listened to kind of everybody, and they were listening to someone else, and well, they said, well, there was a tension here. Well, I was thinking about why the tension here to grasp something, or then grasping and then okay, that's what it is. And then there was kind of focus on that. Okay, this is or this, and and then I heard the speaker said, it never comes and never goes. This is always there, and that tension kind of released that there's no burden here that needs to do something. And since then, uh, like there's rubbish, and there's I have a broken wardrobe that needs to be put outside, and there was a tension that needs to be done, and the rubbish are like things you have to do, like there's a plastic stuck to something and I need to take it off. But there was a kind of a responsibility, tension, feeling that, but no, like this broken wardrobe is almost, I mean, I will maybe put it outside, but it almost feels funny that there's a broken wardrobe and there is this work that need to be done. There doesn't seem to be a tension here that saying that it must be done or something like that. There isn't any more feeling of, yeah, I don't. It's like there's I like there's water on the side of my house. When it rains, it goes inside the gap, and that gap needs to be filled because it's okay. Water, that's emergency. This, but there isn't any more. That might be done today. I might do it today, or okay, that needs to be done. But the kind of fear element of that oh, this might do something bad, or this is really serious emergency, there is that sense. I mean, that might need done, but here it is a very less responsibility regarding that this needs to be. It's a play, it's a joy that needs to be done, and when it's being done, it's also joy, rather than not necessarily definitely a joy or something, but there isn't any bad thing attached to that's being done. It's kind of strange. I don't know how to explain it, but that's
the loss of that responsibility, you mean? Also.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that there's a attachment here of like it's a serious burden that this needs to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it needs to be done, and it can happen or not, that it's being fixed. You don't know.
Yeah.
That's strange to know, because then was always that responsibility, and that on top of that, that's the burden. And then suddenly, oh,
Yeah. That's like more, I understand what you mean. That's just what's happening.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a that is only that's just what's happening. It doesn't have a tension here of this needs to be like this. It doesn't seem to have any. It's kind of that's what's happening. And I just wanted to explain.
And then that's strange to say, because it had a meaning, or it was important, or all that, and then suddenly it's what's happening, and you can't say that to yourself, but it's energetic feeling like, oh, can be done or not done. There's
There's
no
no
importance
meaning
in
attached
that.
to it. That you can say.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's crazy.
That's the
But you don't
freedom.
know. You don't like then when there was this hurt and the relaxation, and oh, why, how did this happen? How like there's no how, there's no
No,
there's
there's
no
no
like
how.
there's no Just something heard and
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah,
want to know, but it's not about you can't know.
yeah,
It's all
yeah.
yeah,
It's energetic. Yeah,
it's energetic, and I don't know why or how or no.
yeah,
Well, it's not important. It's why should
yeah.
we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That kind of the meaning kind of attached to it. That kind of
Yeah.
makes yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sharing. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a nice sharing. Thank you. Mm. Um, there's somebody saying energy comes as words. Words are energy. Everything is energy. Words, feelings, table, streets, yeah, bodies. Yeah. Why are alive here? Why life is here? When there's me, when there's I'm here and I'm living my life, and there's a lot of why. There's no why. There's what's happening. There's no knowing. There's not knowing. There's only not knowing. There can be an understanding of things in the story, and maybe understanding here what's being talked about. But there's only not knowing. What is there to know? A glass of water. It's very simple. There's no need to understand or know anything. It can be knowing. That's fun. It can be knowing something or understanding what's going on. There's no need for anything. There's no need for anything. That's crazy. It's just how it's going, and it's like that. Life is alive. It's in a subtle way. It's joy. It's like that. And it just, can't say how. You see it in babies, like it's just it's that, and it never has it never changed in that way. It's always like that. Not always. That's the only thing there is. That joy, that freedom. It's paradise. That's why it's saying it's paradise already. And when there's that looking at it and seeing everything as real and solid and how to deal with that, and I'm here, then it seems like there's something lost. There's something, I'm outside of what's going on. There's always something missing or not satisfying, or all that. So there's a looking for something else. So there seems to be, I have missed something. I'm in separation. That's how it's called here in this kind of meeting. And then there's here in this radical, or maybe other meetings, it's never been lost. It's the only thing there is. There can be thoughts. There can be an idea about what's going on, a lot of thinking. Well, that's what's happening. There's nothing wrong or right with that. It can be a misunderstanding, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with anything. Life is everything. Can be thinking, a lot of thinking about I'm real and I'm really in control. What is wrong with that? It's what's happening. So there's no agenda in these meetings because it's already complete. What can I say? But there's a sharing happening.
Like the rubbish on the floor, and that's like the word and table chair. You were saying energy. There's rubbish on the floor, and that's just rubbish on the floor. It's not that I will clean it and then I'll be better. Then I can sit down and relax.
Or
That's
maybe
just
you
rubbish on
clean
the
it.
floor.
Maybe you're
Yeah,
cleaning it. Oh no, I
yeah,
don't know.
very clean.
Yeah,
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 it's
yeah,
yeah. That's just energy as well.
yeah. Of course, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. It's even rubbish.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
nice thing. It's
yeah,
yeah. Rubbish on the floor.
yeah, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah. Or smell like, oh God.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
can be there. Yeah,
yeah. And just
yeah,
cleaning it. That's it. And there's
yeah,
no tension of why and then once I've done this and this, and then I can be comfortable. That's
Yeah, that's true.
that's
Yeah,
not, yeah,
that's the story. Yeah. It can
yeah,
be so strong. Yeah, of course.
yeah,
Mm, yeah. And
yeah,
that's in a way, that's always the story.
yeah,
And maybe on the dirt or something else, which is wrong, like that.
yeah,
It's always that story. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No right or wrong. Yeah, there's no right or wrong tattoo. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Right or wrong is in the story. It's this story.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That's the freedom. There's no right and there's no wrong. There's nothing wrong. That doesn't mean it's nice or like that or okay. It's not okay. It's what it is. And it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I'm not saying that because that's a new way. I hear that people saying like, oh, but it's what it is. That's making something which isn't nice into something that you can deal with it and doesn't feel that awful anymore, maybe.
yeah.
It's
That's
making it into something else. Yeah.
yeah. That's making it logical
Yeah.
in your mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
try to make it right or
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Hmm. That's a question. Can you talk about feeling pain, please? Um, there can be pain. What can I say about it? It's the same as anything else. There can be pain. It's not my pain. And the strange thing is, when there's pain, it seems like it's real and I want to get rid of it. That's how it's most of the time in the story and trying to deal with it or saying it's okay or something like I want something else. When that's the same story. Me is always trying to feel good or comfortable and has to deal with everything. So maybe there's also dealing with pain and dealing how to do things to get rid of that or not feel that anymore so strongly or all that. When there's pain, but it's not my pain. And when everything is lost, like here, this that what is lost is that ability, you could say in a way, of that apparent ability because it wasn't there already. But it's that idea, that belief that I can change something. Just those thoughts don't come anymore. So when there's pain, there's nothing going on, but what's going on, why, or all those thoughts, they don't come. It's that pain. And then there's no escape. So then it's full on. But it's not mine. So it's not what a lot of times what remember, what I see is that there's a focusing on that pain, or there's really, oh, that pain. Oh, what can I do? What is that? Or all that. It's taking it home, you could say. It's very sticky, and then trying to deal with it to get rid of it. That it's not taken home anymore. So, like, yeah, it's a way of speaking. It's there, can be very strong, of course, in any feeling, but life is not about me. That's lost too. So there can be pain, but there's also the table. There's no center. The body isn't real. So it's not saying that to yourself because that's like a knowing, and then there's still dealing with something. That's lost. So there's pain and it's full on, and then after a while there's something else. And it doesn't mean it's going in 5 minutes. Maybe it's longer. I don't know. It doesn't mean like that. It's like, whoa, pain, and because I'm not dealing with it, it's after 2 minutes it's gone. No, it can be longer in the story. You could say that. I don't know. Sometimes it's can be feeling like that, or pain, or anything. Nothing is mine. But it's not known. It's not clear, because I hear some people, when it's clear, then there's in a subtle way dealing with it and saying to yourself like, oh, it's not my pain. Oh, and then maybe it's going, and it seems like it works. That's still me going on, and then maybe it works for a while. I don't know. Well, this is a loss of that too. So there's nothing left. There's no free will or choice in that. But that was already like that, but that can be a huge belief in that you are doing that. It's full on. But people think like, oh, I want this because that's maybe there are no problems anymore, so it will feel more freedom and more freeing and more relaxation and all that. Wow, there's a lot of noise outside. And then there's something going on. Wow, can you still hear me? There's a lot of noise. And there's also, what was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. There's that noise suddenly. Mm. That's how it's going. Mm. Mm. And somebody's saying, I guess you'd say the same about fear then. Pain seems like fear or something. Yeah, but it's fear can be the same. And it can happen. It doesn't mean when everything is lost or there is no me, there's no fear anymore or something like. Fear can happen, or pain or anger, or all those emotions can happen. And also feelings. I don't know what a feeling is, or I don't know where about, but there can be a thought about it's about that, but it's only a thought. It's not real. And then that that feeling is there. Or like that. Like anything. It's just normal in that way. It's just everything. It's everything. There's no one to deal with that. No. That's already like that, but it seems when there's a lot of thoughts that you are dealing with it. And that's because of you, it's staying or not staying. It has nothing to do with you. There's already no you. There's no control. There's no free will also. There's no one already. So there can be a lot of being busy with that. There's nothing wrong or right with that, but it doesn't have any power. That's crazy. That whole thing, that seems to be your life and busy with dealing with everything. And then hearing, oh, it has no power, it has no importance at all. Life isn't seeing that. There can be a lot of thoughting. Then can be the thinking about what's going on and how to deal with that, and this is my way and all that. And life is just has nothing to do with that. It's already what's going on. So in that way, there's also no loss of anything. Then there's nothing did happen. There's no difference. Nothing is because of anything. That's so strong. That I have fear because, and that's so quickly on top of that, and then the story starts. And it can be very repeating because it's known somewhere, like, oh, it's because of that again, and it's a story. It has nothing to do with the feeling. It's the feeling can be there. It's not yours. It's a feeling. It's energy. It's aliveness. I like that. There's nothing comes and nothing goes. It's beautiful. Yeah.
It is like you were saying, the fear, yeah, like there was resonance here, and there was many times there's resonance, and then you have fear of, oh, it's gonna go, or it's me gonna come back, and this and that. But it's just like the rubbish I was saying. The pain is just like the rubbish. The
Yeah,
flow.
sure it
The
is.
fear is
Yeah,
just the same thing. It's the
yeah, sure it is. But it seems like it's in the body happening, and then it seems more mine, and then there's
more,
something.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
but it's
had
the
more
same.
story.
It's
Yeah,
the same thing. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
mm, yeah.
In me, it's a very, not that, because it's not attached to you, because it doesn't have any meaning or story to it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's just what's happening there.
There can be that fear, but it feels because we're so convinced the body is real and it's happening in the body and it's mine, and it's getting a
Yeah,
meaning or something.
yeah. You
The,
have to deal with it. You have like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And then hearing there's no, and then suddenly there's no meaning, and that also, and it's not, nothing is real. Yeah, it's the whole, and then it's like, oh, it's only fear. It's
yeah,
fear can happen. It's sensation somewhere.
yeah,
Yeah, like rubbish or
yeah.
a flower.
When this I heard that, the word came into my mind was that there's no obligation on you
Yeah,
for anything.
yeah,
There's no obligation
of
at all.
course.
Yeah.
No,
For
but
fear, for pain, for
there's
anything.
also no you.
Yeah.
There's no you. So where's the obligation for what?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that so can be so embodied, that idea of obligation, responsibility, dealing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think it becomes, through growing up, conditioning, and being told this and being told that, it becomes a believed in something. Something is like, it's believe is not never true, but it's like a belief that's not there, but it gets attached by the belief that this
It's
is,
so embodied. It's so in the
yeah,
body. It's in the cell. So it's coloring everything. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. It's about survival. It can be very strong about, I'm having, this is my life and this is very important, and you have to believe this because that's important for me, or you have to do something about it, or that. So that behavior or that beliefs about what's right and what's wrong. So can be very strong. Wait,
Yeah.
that's another one. Yeah. It's another. The body seems to claim the fear and pain energy. Yeah, it's about survival. It's about survival. I'm here, and I have to deal with everything, and this is threatening, so it has to go away. So that's wrong, and this is nice. So I need more, and that it's always like that. It's always the same story. It's always about me. I am the center of my world, of the world. I'm the center of the world, and what's going on, I have an opinion or a meaning of an idea about what's going on, and this feels good, so it's good, and this feels awful and threatening, so it's wrong. And all the time it's related to how I feel and what I think about what's right and wrong, what I heard, or what's my ideas. And then there's no one. So that's a threat to that whole thing, that's identity that seems to be there. I exist and I have my life here, and I'm always busy to deal with that, and this is right, and taking care for people because that's good and all that. So I'm a good person, and it's very important that you see it, that I'm good and all that. And then they're saying, no, there's no one. So that's a threat, because that's taking away all that ideas about being all right. Because there's subtly underneath, there's something going on. Is that so? Am I good enough? There seems to be, I'm not satisfied. I'm really, there's something wrong with me, or maybe with the world. So there's suddenly somewhere, or strongly making it right, doing the right thing to make things right, and to that in the end it's comfortable to stay in that position or in that life. And then there's hearing, no, there's no one. That's going all that good work and that hard work out of the window, and saying, no, there's no one, and nothing is more important than anything. So that whole survival mechanism is not recognized as someone. It's not seeing somebody as someone. It's what's happening, and that's everything. It's like a little child. It's just a freedom of what's going on. It's new, and it's like, oh, you're there. And then there's what's happening, and that's everything. There's innocence. There's nothing more and nothing less than that what's happening. That's the freedom. It's childlikeness. And there's a longing for that. But the whole thing about losing control and staying alive, and that the threat of that can be so embodied, and there can be a lot of ideas about, I want that too. But in the end, there can be also a fear of dying. And then there's really trying to stay alive, and by understanding, maybe. So understanding and dealing with it, and then you say, that feels good about it. This is aliveness. So you don't know. There's no knowing. I don't know what will happen. I don't know what be the feeling can be, or what will go on. It's free fall. And it's aliveness. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye bye.